Hi, I'm Maria. Come and take a peek into my paradise. So this is our guest house. It lives on our home property and our house is just down the way, this way. This structure was actually built by my father-in-law back in 2019. It was built as a wantilan that is based off of this Balinese structure, this open structure that's multi-tiered. Around 3-4 years ago, we decided to turn it into a guest house because we needed a space to be able to welcome family from overseas to come and stay with us. So we added some walls and windows and renovated to what you see now here. The light is really beautiful because we get both sunrise light and sunset light, and because there's no outdoor space, I think it really invites people to really go within and kind of retreat into the space. It feels very nesty and I really like that. So because the space is quite small, we went for an open plan design. This is our kitchen. Our factory and the construction company built this furniture. So we have a bamboo island here, and we have this wooden countertop here, which I really love. We decided to keep this all windows to let in as much light as possible. And then we have this stone countertop here around the sink so that it doesn't get on the wooden counter. For the countertop here around the sink, we decided to leave the stone edge here. It gives it a more raw, natural feeling. And also the cupboards here and the drawers are also made out of bamboo. We use bamboo splits here that are joined together to make these panels. We also decided, because we work with bamboo, to really highlight all the different ways in which bamboo can be used for a structure. For the structural columns and beams, we're using a round pole and a black bamboo. I think black bamboo really gives this nice elegance, but then if you have a whole building that's only black, then it can look a little bit dull, and that's why we also introduced the blonde bamboo elements. We have weave here, and we decided to use both the blonde and the black bamboo there, and it's a really nice feature wall. For the floor, we also chose bamboo, and we chose the black bamboo also splits. And we've left the skin on the bamboo so that it's very smooth when you're walking on the floor. So it has this nice texture, but it's also very smooth to the touch. So we've got the main bedroom upstairs, and we wanted to have the opportunity that maybe a second couple or a second family could also sleep in the space, but we didn't want to section any part of this downstairs off because it would look very crowded. And so actually this was a friend of mine's. He suggested that maybe we could have a large sofa here that could act as a second bed. So when we added the walls here, the intention originally was to keep going with the wall up until the end here. And when we started building it, we realized that, wow, this is such a beautiful feature of our neighbor's Balinese compound. It's their rooftop temple. And so we decided to stop the wall here and add a window, and it just makes for really a beautiful feature and moment that whilst you're here, either having breakfast or working, that you might have the opportunity to see our neighbors giving their offerings either in the morning or in the evening. And I think it kind of gives this reminder to maybe stop and slow down and join our neighbors in that moment of reverence. So something I really like about this space is that originally when the building was being built, they were trying to figure out the angle of the stairs so that they weren't too steep and they weren't too flat. And to find the perfect angle, they needed to add this landing up here. So this is the floor of the landing of the stairs upstairs. And to support that, they needed to add these beams. And the beams kind of land quite centrally in the space up on the ceiling, and it creates this nest feel, so it feels really cozy down here. Then you can still see the ceiling above, which is the floor of upstairs, that has this kind of grand loftiness, which I really like. One of the uses of this building originally, before we turned it into a guest house, was actually a design office. And this is actually one of the tables that were used during that period. And so we kept it here. I think it fits really perfectly in the space. It's the right size. So this is the bathroom. What I like most about this space is actually the wall, because it's very different to the walls in the rest of the space. This is a lime wall, and I love the color which comes from the color of brick dust. Then we have this big mirror. It's a signature Ibuku and Bamboo Pure, designed by Ibuku and built by Bamboo Pure mirror, which we actually ended up using as the little logo for this guest house. Then the floor is a wood floor, and the reason why it's not bamboo is because we don't want the floor, if bamboo gets wet, then it starts to rot. It doesn't do well in the wet. And then we decided to put in a Japanese bathtub, which is really nice and luxurious, even though the space is really small. So also it's a little bit unexpected that there's this beautiful Japanese bathtub hiding away in here as well. So this is the final space to see in the house, and it's the master bedroom. So what I love most about this space upstairs is that it feels very treehouse-y. This 290 panorama, where we get the view on all these sides, just makes it feel like a little tree house up here. We get some rice field views over the neighbors' rooftops over there, and over on this side we also have the view of the neighbor's rooftop temple, which is really pretty. I decided to have then the bed be like a tented bed that can be closed off in the night and not have so much light coming in. The bed, we also decided to use the black bamboo to match the black bamboo in the structure, and we kept it quite low on the floor since we're in this kind of loft style space. We wanted to still feel quite far away from the ceiling, so it's low down on the ground. We decided to use the whole bamboo so that you can see the rawness of the bamboo with the different nodes, so that it's in contrast to the splits on the floor. And I think it's just a nice space here to read a book, relax, see the view. Thank you, Bali Interiors, for coming to take a peek into my paradise. See you next time.